Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of the Cartridge and Disc Podcast. That's right, this is your Gen X Gamer here, and today we're going to talk about the Switch 2. That's right, the Switch 2. Well, looks like the chief of Activision, a man who can't be believed about anything, was talking about the next Switch console. And even though a lot of people think that he gave away what it's supposed to be, I think it's more of an educated guess, but I think we can all, deduce that. I don't think it's a freaking mystery that they have to do something a little bit more substantial now that you have the Steam Deck out there, for example, and you have some other, fairly decent handhelds out there, PC or Android based, that can do a very good job of running, AAA games if they want to, right? Or Switch type games at this point, or sometimes a lot better than what they have. Regardless, guys, let's talk about what's in store for this next Switch console. At least the barometer has to be the PS4, the Xbox One, like he mentioned. Now, let's keep this in mind with Nintendo. With them, it's not just about the hardware, right? It used to be back in the Sega days, but now that they're, competing against PCs, it's the software, not the hardware, right? They need to focus on fun games, on their IPs, and for the most part, it's worked, right? They're the leader in the market. They don't have to fix something that's not broken. All they have to do is rinse and repeat. Now, there's a couple of unanswered questions from them, like, are the games going to be carried over? Is there going to be any compatibility? And let's face it, guys, the answer is probably no, because Nintendo fans, more than any other fan, right, will buy the same game multiple times, right? How many people have the Wii U games that they bought on Switch too, right? A bunch of us, for the convenience, for XYZ reasons. But we've done it before. We've done it with other consoles. We did it with the NES, the Super NES. The game, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the console. We'll do it over and over again. We buy GameCube games and Wii games, whatever. They have an endless cash supply of degenerates out there that will buy several copies of the same game just because we want the cases, because we're collectors, whatever the reason. That's the customer base of Nintendo. So if they don't have to do it, they won't. And I think because of their subscription service, they might not even have to, but maybe they will, right? But if I was a betting man, they would come up with some reason like, oh no, we're using different this, different that, and you're gonna have to buy that game again. I guess it really depends when the game came out. Regardless, guys, I am looking forward to the next Switch console. I'm hoping for something that's docked, just like we have the Switch, but I wish that the dock itself would also be a system. And the reason is I would love to have two screens, just like in the Wii U days, sort of like an upgrade, But Nintendo has to be really careful. They want to avoid mistakes. We all remember the Wii U debacle, right? You don't want to repeat that again, right? Right after a successful console just fall on your face like that, it was terrible, right? And they've had the Virtual Boy in their past, right? So they know what failure looks like. They do. So they can't rush anything, but they need to be able to compete in some sort of way, or at least have some hardware that can run some of the same games. I don't need to run them all, but they need to be able to at least put them in a playable form for these studios to make some sort of version of their AAA games to run out there, because a lot of people only have one console, and it'll be the Nintendo. What this case has shown to me, right? And I don't know if you guys see it this way. to me, Xbox is not really competing with either of these two companies. They're trying to sell a service, right? I think their real competition at this point is going to be Apple, Amazon. They're on that level. You know, I think that Nintendo and Sony are a tier below. And, you know, they need to focus on the hardware. They need to focus specifically on the games, where Microsoft is just a juggernaut trying to go globally with this service, you know, and do the best job that they can doing that, so they can become a major market player. You know, with the revelations of these hearings, you know, besides everybody having loose lips, like this Activision guy, you know, it's been interesting going behind the scenes. It's been interesting to see how sometimes even big companies falter. You know, like those sharpied out documents that everybody could read. But in the case of Nintendo, they're a very important part of this case, because what Sony, you know, is trying to do here is to reduce it to a two-man race, where, you know, Microsoft is trying to, you know, erase them out of the map, which is not the case. Nintendo does exist. They're a major part of the market, number one. Number two, if anybody's been keeping away games from anybody else, it would be Sony. You know, it's like those things, you know, it's like old communists used to do, you know, blame other people of what you're doing so they don't accuse you of the same thing. It's still being done, by the way. Communists and socialists, they do that. But anyway, that's where we stand now. But I'm looking forward, guys. I am looking forward to the Switch 2. I think it's going to be a big launch. I think they're going to launch with some very major IPs. You know, I think Metroid 4 is going to be on the Switch 2. I really do believe that. And if we haven't seen anything from the game, I think is because after the embarrassment that they had with canceling the game, they're working on something really great. I think that Metroid Prime was a prep of sorts to remind us that the franchise is still there, it's still alive, and they're really going to come out with guns blazing with the Switch 2. Is it ready now? No. You know, I think the earliest we might see it announced would be the Christmas of 2024. I think. You know, that is just my best guess. But who knows? But it's really has been enjoyable, and this Friday is going to be the last day that they can, you know, air all their grievances out before the judge makes a ruling on this. And we'll see if we have any more revelations from the Nintendo Switch 2. And I really hope it comes out soon, and I'm really excited for it, to tell you the truth. I've been happy with my Switch. It's my primary handheld. And, you know, if they're able to put AAA games on the next one, I think it would be even better. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.